Okay, we're moving on to part 3 of our discussion with Napoleon Hill, the 17 Laws of Success. We're on number 10, and we're talking now about, let me just recap a little and reminding everyone that we are looking for a positive mental attitude, grounded in humility, meaning oftentimes as you step into I got it and you don't, you can it's a dangerous ground because you're not humble, but you want to be grounded in humility. Now there's a time and a place to be humble because some people are just not humble. And those are the ones that you can utilize the lack of humility because it's a joke. It's like when people when they think is expanded, they think they're better than somebody else. We're all on our journeys. By being humble, you're able to see their lack of humility and you can make fun of that. So we're having a positive mental attitude. We have our purpose, we have faith, we're pleasing, we have our habit of going the extra mile, we change and transform the negative to the good, we're learning our positive mental attitude, we're enthusiastic about our lives, we have our group of our mastermind, we take personal initiative to name a few. We're moving on to our adversity and defeat. Adversity and defeat. Most people don't like adversity, nor do they like defeat. However, if you take a look at it as a perspective shift, for example, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who is my reincarnated family member, by the way, had polio. Okay, he had polio. And then he had all kinds of other different health ailments. And instead of wallowing in bed with defeat, he utilized it as a source to push him forward and learn lessons from it that became, the problem became the seed of the equivalent benefit, is what it's called. So it's the seed of equivalent benefit. There's the lessons to learn. So you overcome something, you move through it, you learn to, it's like you dismantle yourself and then you rebuild. And then the ceiling becomes the floor. I wrote, frequency. Well, it's like a frequency of ups and downs. It's like you want your life to really kind of be neutral, with like some ups and downs. But even when you're down, you know that this too shall pass. And then you'd want to stop for a minute and say, well, what do I need to take a look at in this moment that can adjust who I'm being in it as a lesson for myself to grow? And those are the hardest times, believe you me. Battle. That's what it means, battle. Not like fluff someone's butt, no. Because there are times in your life where you're going to need to stand up for yourself, but you need to have a positive mental attitude. And so it's finding the balance of that and learning how to, it's like learning how to be the positive mental attitude while you battle. That's the game. Because you don't want negative karma on you, but you also don't want to let someone abuse you either. They rob the rights of personal freedom. Where right now, currently, we are being robbed of our personal rights of freedom. And so as I post this today, in 10 years from now, it will have shifted into a different kind of adversity and defeat. Right now, it's just really challenging, but there's always a circle of life if we don't stay awake to the realities of nature. Okay, what you don't use, you lose. Meaning, historical events will repeat themselves if we don't use the ideas of showing it to the surface, like the work that we're doing in this moment, in this time. If we don't use this on a regular basis of experiencing adversity and defeat, then we lose it. And then it's a catastrophe. Refuse to accept the trend and fulfill your personal responsibility. Refuse to accept the trend and fulfill your personal responsibility. How will I take responsibility on my end in the defeat? The defeat is actually only accepted as if you say it's a defeat. In a strategic form, that person might think it's defeat. However, the reality of it, I've never been defeated. I have yet to be defeated. It's a regrouping of strategic performance. And that's adversity and defeat. Because I have a mental positive attitude. Let's see. It's like interesting because when you take possession of your own mind, you can never be defeated. You can never be defeated. It's a perspective, though. It's a perspective. Okay, let's move on to number 11, imagination, creative vision. Synthetic, new combination, it's all made up. Synthetic, new combination, everything's already been made up. That's what synthetic imagination is. Okay? Let's see, the lamp has been made up for many, many years. However, a touch lamp, where you touch the lamp, was a synthetic invention of creativity, also known as evolution. So it's combining old ideas with new stuff. And I talked a little bit about this in a TikTok video about the Eskimo pie. Ice cream was invented, chocolate was invented, and then they made the Eskimo pie. So that's a version of creativity and imagination. It gets a little complicated because then you talk about like an Eskimo pie and then someone changed the brand and calls it someone else. But you want to think about it like in a million years, is the same person going to be making quadrillion dollars off the Eskimo pie? You know what I mean? Same thing with music. Creative The creative imagination is all completely new ideas or facts. So for example, for myself, we come back to life. Although that's not actually new either because Jane Roberts said that. Actually, most of my stuff really isn't new. Okay, some of it might be new, but some of it I don't want to take credit for because Seth spoke with Jane. I always want to give credit where credit is deserved. You know, the alien thing is different. The telepathy's always been there. I mean, yeah, I guess it's new. I'm the only psychic in history who's been able to do this. That's my creative. The phonograph is an example of a creative sixth sense with new ideas or facts. The internet is an example of that. The Facebook page that Mark Zuckerberg created is a version of that because MySpace was out first. So stuff like that. But most stuff's already been done before.